Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name's Anna, and today I'm going to be teaching you how I make my clove butter or my clove oil, whatever you'd like to call it. I like calling it clove butter because it sounds a little bit fancier, but it's essentially just clove oil. It's just coconut oil and cloves, and it's very simple to make, and I absolutely love this recipe for using it as a toothpaste alternative. As you guys may know, I don't use toothpaste. Well, if you don't know, now you know. I don't use toothpaste. I usually just use coconut oil, or I like to use my clove oil, my homemade clove oil. Clove has so many benefits for your dental health that I can definitely list if you guys are interested in, but it also has so many benefits for your hair and for your skin. So you can use this oil to put on your hair and skin topically and reap the health benefits that way. Or you can also ingest this oil. I actually personally was mostly eating my last oil. I didn't really use it for hair or skin purposes. I was actually just consuming it as an oil. Like I would like to, I would say use it as a butter alternative if I'm out of raw butter. But that being said, I also really like to put it inside of dates because I really like eating coconut oil inside of dates as a snack. But sometimes I want like a little extra flavor. So I've been putting my clove oil inside of my dates and stick them in the fridge, sprinkle a little bit of mineral salt on top, and stick them in the fridge for just a few minutes so that they solidify. Thank me later for that tip. But anyways, we're not here to talk about dates and snacks. We're here to talk about how to make clove oil. So I'm going to teach you exactly how you make it, and I will stop rambling, and without further ado, let's get into the video. The only ingredients that you will need are virgin coconut oil. I like to get this organic coconut oil from Costco, but I actually prefer the one in the glass container because this one's plastic, unfortunately. And you also need some cloves. Now, first thing, you want to melt your coconut oil in a pot on low heat. Just, I like to do low so that I don't overheat it or anything like that, but it doesn't really matter because you're going to simmer it later on anyways. And I don't really measure anything. I just kind of put about a cup or two in there, and then same thing for the cloves. I just kind of sprinkle them in there. The less cloves you use, the less intense the flavor will be, and the more cloves you use, the stronger it will be. So I just like to use a good amount of cloves. But also, the flavor intensity will depend on how long you let your oil infuse. So put it in there and just let it cook for a little bit. You're going to simmer it on low heat. And I like to simmer it for at least 30 minutes. As you can see, I have a low heat going. And eventually, it will start to boil. And once it starts to boil, you will notice that the color will start to change. It will get darker and darker the longer that you simmer it for. This is what it looks like in the beginning, and it'll start to bubble. You don't want to cook it on too high of a heat, like I mentioned before. Just low heat will be fine, but enough so that it boils slightly. And then eventually you'd like to mix it up a little bit, just to keep it moving, keep things moving around, and make sure nothing gets stagnant or that the cloves don't burn at the bottom of the pot or anything like that. So after at least 30 minutes, or you can honestly cook it for longer, just depending on how you feel. I like to go off of just like my intuition and how I'm feeling. It will start to get this much darker color, and it will get darker and darker the longer that you cook it for. And once you finish cooking it or simmering it, you're going to turn the heat off. And I like to just leave my clove oil infusing overnight. Make sure you put the lid on to protect it from any bugs or anything, and just let it cool. So I forgot to record this part, but you're actually going to strain the cloves make sure you get a mesh strainer, or you can also just get, you know, a big bowl, depending on what utensils you use. You guys know how to strain stuff. Get a mesh strainer and basically wait for the coconut butter or coconut oil to cool down. I like to leave it overnight so it can really get nice and infused. And then the next day, once it's cooled, I like to strain it, and make sure that you don't wait too long to strain it, because otherwise it may solidify and then you might have to reheat it again depending on the climate that is around you where you live. But yes, I like to strain it, put it in a jar, label it, and then I stick it in the fridge. You don't have to keep it in the fridge, but I prefer to keep it in the fridge just to keep it fresh for longer. Sometimes it can get a little bit too solidified, like when I'm trying to brush my teeth with it. So for that, I will sometimes leave it out of the fridge so it can melt a little bit before I want to brush my teeth. Or sometimes I'll just leave the clove butter, clove oil in a little tincture in my bathroom, and it will melt, and it won't be the right consistency necessarily, because for toothpaste, you kind of want it to be solid, but not too solid to where you can't melt it off and put it on your toothbrush. And the next morning, you are going to get a colander and you're going to strain your clove oil. The thing is if you let it sit for too long, it will solidify, and that's fine. You can just heat it up again, but I would recommend making sure that you strain it the next day before it re-solidifies again. And then I like to keep it in this jar and I label it, and option to put it in the fridge if you'd like it to solidify, or you can keep it on the counter. Again, it really depends on the climate of where you are. I go back and forth putting it in the fridge versus putting it on the counter. If I'm just eating it out of the jar, I actually prefer it to be more solid. I think it just tastes a lot more creamy and just like, it's super delicious, trust me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video of how to make clove oil, clove butter. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys try out this recipe and what you guys think of it. Like I said, it smells absolutely amazing, so I hope you guys enjoy this recipe as much as I do, and that maybe you get some use out of either eating it, putting it on your hair or skin, or in my case, using it as a toothpaste for all of the amazing benefits that cloves provide. Anyways, I thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to like it and subscribe to my channel if you guys watched all the way through, and send this video to anyone who you think it might be helpful for. Anyways, God bless you all, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!